Hello, I'm Sock Pope, and this is my systems design packaged final product. Let me just open it up. It'll open up to a main menu where you have the option to either start a new game or load a game. So one of my main systems that I wanted to design was a pretty robust save game. So you see all these doors have a big gem on them. They're called artifacts, and you can collect them throughout the level. They will be saved to the save game. I'm very proud of that. Have a race here, and the reward for the race is an artifact. Whenever an artifact is spawned, they check if they are in the save game or not, and then they'll display a different texture. They'll have different materials. So again, like I said, the main mechanic of this framework is the ability to swap between different characters with different abilities. This green character is the alchemist, so they have the ability to mess with cauldrons and collect ingredients and that sort of thing. That's all done through actor components. I decided to use actor components as it would let me quickly create a character. For instance, this framework currently only has 4 characters, only really 3 unique ones. Each one has a different ability, but if a person came along and wanted to have a character that could be an alchemist and, say, the speedster, which I'm just going to show you now. Oh, yes, this is the character select screen. So it won't let you select any characters that are within the current party, and it will update the menu to reflect that. So you can't click these buttons at all. It's all very secure. And when it's swapping, you also can't click. Because one of the bits of testing I got was someone would spam down and it would absolutely freak out and freeze. But yes, if you wanted a character that could do potions but was also speedy like the speedster, then you would be able to add both actor components onto it, and everything would react absolutely perfectly to that. So I'm going to show you a QuickTime event now. This is also done via actor components. It adds a component to the interacting player, and then freezes their inputs, puts on a new input context, the QuickTime event one, and also displays a UI for the matching one. So again, I did an actor component because I think they're really expandable. I think I really like separating my code out into different chunks. I'm very happy with this system. We press down and it'll run off. That's all done with a spline and a timer. It just moves you along. See, also we have this effect that starts a few seconds after moving. That's using the optimized inputs. So the next character I'm going to show is the Jama. She has the ability to take control of different NPCs. Also have these lovely interact switch. So you turn to face it. If you... Oh, I've done that wrong. Hold on. There's a pattern if you do it, you just get it into. I'm not, I'm definitely not a puzzle designer, that's for sure. But yeah, you can take control of different things. And this gives you, this is again done with an input context as well, because I didn't want the player to be able to jump or, what was the other thing? Sprint. There was a few things that I didn't want them to be able to do. So they make use of some of the input actions, such as interact and move. However, there's a few of them that are sort of removed. The main sort of focus of this framework was to create something that people could easily go on and use in their own project. So everything is pretty easy to sort of change. For instance, this race that we did at the start is generated using a spline. That's super easy to just rearrange and reconfigure. There's 2 modes on that, so you can either use spline points and it will put a checkpoint at each spline point and map its rotation, or you can use the sort of equally placed approach. Um, I like the equally placed approach for a quick sort of iterative thing, and then I like to fine tune with the spline points. So here we're getting to like the first, kind of the hopeful idea of anyone that would make a framework with this, is that you would use all the abilities kind of in conjunction with each other. So here we have so the alchemist, and he wants to use that, but he doesn't have enough. So we put a little thing up. I was very big on player feedback. So if I'll go to this one. If I click on here, it'll pop up a little picture of the red guy. That's done using the party manager. Oh, I haven't even spoken about the party manager. The characters in the party are managed by a component. Yes, I love this idea. Anything that doesn't need a physical representation that I've built as a manager, I have then turned into a component and attached it to the game mode. I really like this approach because it lets you create a game mode, tell it what managers it's going to use, and that's it, you're off to the races. It'll always do the same thing, no matter what level it's in. There's no need to place down actors. There's no bug errors where it's like, oh, I forgot to put down the enemy manager. Always in a component. I love that. I'm a big fan of components. A big consideration when making the save game was whether to use data assets or not. So the current system stores all of the level data within a map. Um, Stores it all within a map, which uses the name of the level as a key. I then try not to try not to die too much. But yeah, death is a thing. When you die, you'll be teleported to. Oh, I'll just do it now. When you die, you are teleported to the nearest. Oh, that didn't go to plan. Teleported to the nearest safe location. Oh, sometimes effects do persist. That is a bug, unfortunately. I should fix that. However, it's very close to the deadline, and I don't have time. But I do love the idea of putting things in components. I think that's very good. I think it's great for people to then come and use stuff as well, as long as you're careful. Sometimes it can be easy to get carried away, and I know I've done that a few times and I've had to refactor my systems. Save game is the thing that alongside the racetrack, the thing that I am the most sort of proud of in this framework. It saves checkpoints, it saves the current party, it saves which artifact you've collected, it saves pretty much everything that's currently in the project. It's also super easy to expand. It's all the level data is held within a struct that uses the level name as a map. So you can just easily add anything to that struct, and each level will record that. I was going to use a data asset. However, I'd already created the save system and all of the implementation of that by the time that I'd figured out what a data asset is and how it could be helpful. So in the end, I went with a different approach. However, I'm now going to activate this last bit. There we go. So the idea of the game is very much built on activators such as the hard interact things, the things that have the sort of flower in front of them. It's built on activators and sort of things that they activate. So I found that really helpful when designing new things and when designing parts of the level. Because I could just go, okay, well, this is the thing that can interact with things, and this is another thing which can also do that, or receive inputs. So I'm gonna activate this chat point, and we should, if not, oops, but we should spawn back at that checkpoint. I'm gonna complete the level. I love this animation. So that is also in order of the artifact ID. So if you only collect it's not possible in this level because you have to collect them all to end the level. If you collect only the second and the fourth artifact, then it will only display that on the level completed screen. So you see we also have a time taken. So I'm just going to quit out, and then I'll open it up again. I will I'll load game this time. And you see we spawn back here. Our party is the same as when we left it. So if you'll remember, when we started the level, it was a blue guy and I think it was the green guy. It was the blue guy and the green guy. But now it's different because every time you swap a character, that's then updated in the game instance. So to explain the game instance, I use the game instance as a sort of in between save games. So when you're on the main menu, that will initiate the save game, and then that will push that to actually save game is initiated in the game instance because I found it very useful to have anything that stores data in the same place. So there's a lot of interfaces. I'm a big fan of if it's a game mode, game instance, interfaces as much as I can because then I can avoid casting. Even if it's not a casting issue, I think it looks a lot cleaner and it's a lot easier to sort of segment what things can do rather than using functions, for instance. Also, I just really like using interfaces for that. So a thing that I'm going to show as well is you'll see once we complete this race for a second time, the artifact should be grayed out. And there we go. So you can pick it up, but it won't do anything. It won't add anything to a total or anything because that's stored with a bool. So artifacts are stored with their ID and a matching boolean as their sort of has this happened. Now I really like that approach as it lets me know exactly how many items are in a level. I can go, oh, in this level there are 4 artifacts because there's 4 entries into this map. That is one of the workarounds, not workarounds, but that is one of the things that I had to, that's a bit fiddly with the framework. Anytime that you create a new level, you have to create an entry for each artifact in the save game. So if you want to load the level without the main menu for testing, for instance, any of the things that rely on save game data won't work, which is really annoying, but main menu takes 2 seconds to load. It's not the biggest issue, and a lot of things don't rely on the save game to work. The only thing that I think doesn't work without save game is these doors. As you can see, it saved the amount that we have, so I can go straight in here, I can go straight to the end. I'm trying to think if there's any other systems I haven't mentioned. I spent a lot of time on the save game. The save game is very, very robust, as are the abilities. But I think that will be all. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble. Oh, ignore the window I have to press stop in OBS. But thank you very much for listening. I've been Sock Pope. Yippee dippy doodah.